Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजना यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव जय राधा माधव राधा माधव जय राधा माधव जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक आचार्य अष्टोत्तर भाई चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की इस्कॉन बिवरी फाउंडर आचार्य डिवाइन ग्रेस प्रभुपाद की जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक आचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत शिष्यमाद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर श्री प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की श्री गौर निताय की श्री लक्ष्मी सिंह भगवान की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंद all glory to the assembled devotees, all glory to the assembled devotees, all glory to the assembled devotees, all glory to Guru and Gauranga, all glory to Srila Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Sa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Gura Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurung Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupang Sagrajatam सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादं सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्नाय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतिष्ठे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंध जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कंत राधा कंत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 2, text number 13. अथैनं मापनायत प्रीतो शेषागनिष्कृतम् जद असो भगवान् नाम म्रियमान समाग्रहे। अहैनं अथैनं माननायत अथैनं मापनायत प्रीता शेषागनिष्कृतम् जादासो भगवान् नाम म्रियमान समाग्रहे। अथैनं मापनायत प्रीता शेषागनिष्कृतम् जादसो भगवान् नाम म्रियमान समाग्रहे। Mataji. Atha, therefore, enam, him, Ajamila, ma, do not, apanayata, try to take, krita, already done, ashesha, unlimited, aghaniskhritam, atonement for his sinful action, yat, because, aso, he, Bhagavat Nama, the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mriyamana, while dying. Samagrahit, perfectly chanted. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. At the time of death, this Ajamila helplessly and very loudly chanted the holy name of the Lord, Narayan. That chanting alone has already freed him from the reaction of all sinful life. Therefore, O servants of Jamaraj, do not try to take him to your master for punishment in hellish conditions. Purport. The Vishnudutas, who are superior authorities, gave orders to the Jamadutas who did not know that Ajamila was no longer subject to tribulation in hellish life for his past sins. Although he had chanted the holy name Narayan to indicate his son, the holy name is so transcendently powerful that he was automatically freed because he had chanted the holy name while dying. Ante Narayana Smritihi. As Krishna confirms in Bhagavad Gita, Jesham Tantagata Papam Jananam Punna Karmanam Te Dandamoho Nirmukta Bhajante Mam Devabrataha. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, and who are freed from the duality of delusion, engage themselves in my service with determination. Unless one is freed from all sinful reaction, one cannot be promoted to the platform of devotional service. Elsewhere in Bhagavad Gita, it is stated, Antakale cha mameva smaran mukta kalevaram japrayati samadbhavam jatinastatta samsaya. If one remembers Krishna, Narayan, at the time of death, one is certainly eligible to return immediately home, back to Godhead. Mukam karati vachalam pangul langhayate giring jat kripatam aham vande Sri Guru Gnatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. Welcome to all of you for the morning Bhagavatam class. So we have been discussing on Ajamila for last 3 days. Today is the 4th day. So yesterday, what are the main points we discussed? 3 stages of chanting. Chanting with offenses, Namabhas and Suddhanam. What else we discussed? That was the only thing we discussed yesterday, or something else we also discussed? Okay. So Ajamila was at the level of Namabhas. That's why all sinful reactions were eradicated. Okay. Anything else? Material attachment is the root cause of all offenses. Okay. Huh? Agyata Sukriti. Yes, we talked a lot about that also, Agyata Sukriti. That we just hinted that will happen, yet to happen. Not more effective, Kali Yuga, huh? In Kali Yuga, chanting of the holy name is the process, Yuga Dharma. In other Yuga, that was not the Yuga Dharma, but it was also very powerful and integral part of the process of devotional service. Okay, today we enter into the second chapter because tomorrow will be the last day. So we thought we have to conclude something. So Vishnudutas came and Jamadutas also came. Why Jamadutas came? Because of sinful acts of Ajamila. Why Vishnudutas came? Because he chanted the holy name of Narayan. Very good. Both the parties came, very sincere. They are loyal servants. They are doing their duties wonderfully. No phone call was needed. Jamraj never called him, please go. And Vishnu also didn't tell them to go. They know their duties very well. So, how many Jamadutas came? 3 Jamadutas. And how many Vishnudutas? 4. So, 3 Jamadutas, why? Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport, because he committed sinful activities with body, mind and words. That's why 3 Jamadutas came. Prabhupada mentioned in the purport. 4 Vishnudutas, not specifically mentioned, but it is said he chanted the name Narayan, Narayana, 4. इसलिए that's why 4 Vishnudutas came. And conversation started. So Jamadutas, they started thinking, who are those people? They were thinking they are the supreme authority. And Vishnudutas were very powerful in their approach. He said, don't touch him. They are ordering. He said, who are those people? Only Jamraj can order us. Now, who are those people? They started asking questions about their identity. They are glorified also because Vishnudutas were like Vishnu and they are glorifying. In few verses, Jamadutas were glorifying the Vishnudutas. 400. Just like in Vaikuntha Loka, very difficult to understand who is Vishnu and who is devotee of Vishnu. All look same. So new people also, when they come to ISKCON, they also think, those who are in saffron especially, they think very difficult to recognize you. All look same. And looks like you are coming from other planets. Which planet we don't know. But after a few years, they come to know which planet. That's different subject altogether. But the thing is that Vishnu Dutas were very effulgent, like Vishnu. Then Vishnu Dutas asked Jamadutas, why you want to take Ajamila and punish? So they are giving reasons. They know they are not acting sentimentally. And they started narrating the life of Ajamila. Who is narrating the life of Ajamila? Jamadutas. He said he was a nice Brahmana. He was properly trained by his father. He was very pious. So different qualities of Ajamila were explained by Jamadutas. Then one day they are explaining nicely. One day Ajamila went to the forest by the order of his father to collect paraphernalia from the forest. So in the forest he saw that one Sudra and one Sudrani were intimately associating. And by seeing that, Ajamila, although he tried so much to give up that thinking, but it was not possible for him. Again and again, the same thought was coming to his mind. And that is the result of inappropriate association. Very difficult. And especially in Kali Yuga. That happened in Satya Yuga. That was the effect. In Kali Yuga, Ajamila incident is happening everywhere. We are discussing, it is in our pocket. Right? Ajamila saw that in the forest, but it is in our pocket. Anytime. Anytime we can have that kind of access because of the advancement of, I don't want to mention what is the advancement, but this is advancement. Somehow that kind of incident can be in our pocket. But the point is that although he was intelligent and he was Brahmanically trained, he knew Shastra, he knew Bhagavad Gita, Kamoyesha, Krodesha, Rajaguna, Samadbhava, Mahasuna, Mahapapna, Viddhanaya, Vairana, all the slokas he knew, but slokas are not working. Right? So why? Because he did not have that kind of proper association who can guide him. Because when we are in difficulty, we need somebody to help us. So Ajamila looks like did not have that kind of help. That's why he could not manage himself. So when there are some problems, we should not try to solve those problems by our own endeavor because very difficult to solve those problems. That's why you should approach someone who is more advanced than us, who can help us. Just like Arjuna was in difficulty, immediately he approached Krishna. Parikshit Maharaj was in difficulty, he approached Sukadeva Goswami. So in the same way, if there is some difficulty in our life, we should approach someone who can help us. The need of that person is very, very important. Problems will be there. Ajamil had problems. We also have problems. So problems are the integral part of our life. As a sadhaka, there will be problems. But if we have somebody in our life, then that can help us to overcome those problems. But Ajamila did not have that. And we are also discussing that when we take shelter, it's not only theoretical knowledge can help us. We know all the slokas. We know all these verses. We know this story. We know that story. I know Bhagavatam. I know Chaitanya Charitamrita. Knowing is not everything. Ajamila also knew. But therefore, we should come to a second level of practicing that knowledge. When we practice in our life, when we take shelter, Avidya on a Sambandha Gyan, we'll discuss now. Sambandha Gyan is very, very important, but after that Gyan, we have to practice that knowledge. And practice means we have to surrender. Just like Arjuna heard Bhagavad Gita, and after that Krishna told, you do whatever you like to do. But Arjuna chose to surrender to Krishna. That's why he became Arjuna. So in the same way, we have to accept someone and we should be ready to follow his instructions. It's a voluntary process. But if I don't have anybody, then who will be our guru? Mind. Mind will take over. Because mind is waiting when he will come to me. Already we are in his grip, but he's thinking now he is going out of my grip. So that challenge is there. So therefore, we should not be victimized by mind. But we will be victimized if we don't have the help in our life. Then definitely mind will take over our life and we will be carried away. The way we can be carried away, you cannot think. Mind can become so powerful. When mind will see he has no shelter, then mind will act very powerfully. So therefore, we should not give chance to the mind to take over our life. So Ajamila did not have that. That's why he became victimized. So last, I always give the example we also discussed, I think in the first day. Prabhupada said it's impossible to overcome lust. But it can be overcome if we take shelter of the Lord. Just like Haridas Thakur, he took shelter of the holy name and he was untouched even by Maya Devi. So lust. So L-U-S-T. Lust. So how we can overcome lust? By lust. L, leave bad association. You understand the bad effects of lust. S, shelter of the Lord. T, tolerate provoking situations. So in that way, we can overcome the lust. Some simple methods as per Shastra, because very difficult for us to remember things. So this the best way, I think, in this age to remember certain things. So L means we have to leave bad association. Why Ajamila become victimized? Because he was in bad association. What to talk about Ajamila? Kali Yuga also, Kala Krishna Das was with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because of bad association, he become victimized. So therefore, we have to be very, very careful. We should have good association. So leave bad association. Then you understand. Only knowing is not enough. We have to understand the bad effects of lust. Lust is all pervading in this world. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, lust is there in the mind, lust is there in the senses, and lust is also there in intelligence. All over, the whole ether, the whole existence is such as with lust. And Mahaprabhu came to give love in that situation. Very interesting. Totally opposite. Completely opposite. So what is the bad effect? First is that lust makes us blind. We cannot discriminate. Intelligence goes off. That's why it's called kamandha. When we become lusty, then brain doesn't work. Example was Chintamani and Billamangal Thakur. Who was that? Silana Mishra. Silana Mishra. He was also from a very good family, but somehow he became attracted by Chintamani. Chintamani was extremely beautiful, very attractive lady. So Silana's family member died, but still every evening he used to go. So that day, the family members told, please don't go today. So Silana said, no, I have to go every day. Nityam, I have to go every day. So I cannot stay without going to her. So that day it was heavy rainfall. And to cross, in order to go to the house of Chintamani, he had to cross a river. So that day river was overflowing. There was no boat, heavy rain. But Silana was fully determined. Ahoitukya pratihata. Everywhere, if you want to become successful, same principles apply. So he swam across. How? He saw a log of wood. He just grabbed that log of wood and swam across the river. And the door and windows are all closed. He saw a rope hanging from a tree. He grabbed that and went up, and he was in front of Chintamani. Chintamani was surprised. She also came to know that somebody died and heavy rain, and she was thinking also today he will not come. But he was amazed by seeing the determination of Silana. Then he said, "How did you come?" He said, "Simple. I swam across." "How could? It's a heavy tide, heavy stream. How you could cross?" He said, "No, I just took the help of a log of wood." He said, "What kind of log of wood? Let me check." And she came out and saw, "This is not log of wood, that's a dead body." I said, "How you climbed up?" He said, "There's a rope." Then she said, "That's not rope, that was a snake." So that is the power of lust. Lust makes us blind. But Chintamani played a very significant role. He said, if you have little bit of that attraction for Krishna, whatever you have for me, your life will become successful. So that opened the consciousness, that opened the eyes of Chilana, and he became Billamangal Thakur. But point to be noted here, that lust makes us blind. And what is the second effect of lust? Second effect, lust will take away good association. When we are lusty, we will not be able to take good association. This is another effect of lust. And what is the third effect of lust? Lust keeps us bound in this material world. As long as we have lusty desire in our heart, Shastra explains, our journey in this material world will continue. Binding force of this material world is lust. Binding force of the spiritual world is love, and binding force of this material world is lust. So lust will keep us bound in this material world. So these are the effects of lust. Then shelter. Shelter. Shelter is very, very important. Ashray koriya bhaje Krishna tahe nai taje baki sab more akaran. So who will be victorious in this journey? Who has taken shelter. Ashray koriya bhaje. You have to take shelter, then Krishna will not reject. Krishna will accept those devotees who have taken shelter of the devotee of Krishna. That is called shelter. Shelter of the sadhus. That is most powerful. Ashray koriya bhaje Krishna tare nahi tyaje. Means Krishna will not reject that devotee. Baki sab, others, those who want to approach Krishna directly, those who do not want to approach Krishna, those who are other categories, baki sab more akaran. They will come and go uselessly in this material world. So therefore, we have to take shelter. So first shelter is Vaishnavas. Sadhu Sangha, association of devotees, and especially advanced devotees. Advanced devotees. Those who are advanced than us. That is explained by our acharyas. If someone is a sadhaka, he should take shelter of the devotees who are advanced in sadhana, or preferably those who have attained level of bhava. That kind of association he should take. And those who are at the level of bhava, they should take the shelter of prema, bhaktas. And those who are at the prema, they should take shelter of Mahabhagavat. So in that way, we have to take shelter who are more advanced than us. That is the meaning of sadhu sangha. So in Kali Yuga, Prabhupada explains the safest place is where the holy name is chanted. So we have to take shelter of the holy name. And we have to take shelter of Srimad Bhagavata. So these are the shelters. Those who take shelter of these things, they will be protected from the influence of this material world. And we can be also protected from the lusty propensities. And last one is we have to tolerate. As a sadhaka, you have to tolerate. Who is telling? Jamunacharya. As soon as the thoughts of sex life come into my mind, my face become curled in disgust and I spit on that thought. So who is telling this? Advanced devotee. It means for him also thoughts comes. Right? As long as material body will be there, that kind of thought will come. But he is responding in a different way. For a sadhaka, for not devotees, non-devotees, for everyone that kind of thought will come. But difference is how people will respond. That will make the differentiation. So Jamunacharya, how he is responding? He is telling that he feels disgusted. And he used to spit on that thought. And Prabhupada was giving a lecture on this verse also. And he literally spat in the class. So we should not imitate that. But point to be noted, this is the platform. So as a sadhaka, even at the level of bhava, I think, that kind of thought will come. But those who are very advanced in Krishna consciousness, they will feel disgusted by that thought. And one day, that thought will never come. That day will also come. So that is the perfection of our life. But till that happens, what to do? Tolerate. Matra sparsastu konteya, sitashta sukha dukkhada, agama paina nitya, stang titiksasya, bharata. We have to tolerate. It is also explained by Prabhupada. The greatness of a person has to be estimated by one's ability to tolerate provoking situations. Tolerance. So who can tolerate? Who can tolerate? Who is humble? And who can be humble? Who is in knowledge? Right? So what is the meaning of knowledge? What is the meaning of knowledge? To know. That is one aspect of knowledge. To know who is the spirit soul, who is God, and what is material nature, and their relationships. That is called knowledge. And somebody said, to know what is matter, what is spirit, and who is the controller of both. So in that way, we can situate ourselves in knowledge. And from knowledge, humility will come. Mahaprabhu is telling Rupa Goswami the size of the soul to make us humble. What is the size of the soul? So new mathematics we came to know in ISKCON from Mahaprabhu. 1/10,000 part of the tip of the hair. What a mathematics. Right? And how many souls are there in the creation? Unlimited. Very good. Unlimited number. Whatever is connected with the Lord is unlimited. Krishna has unlimited qualities. Krishna has unlimited energy. Krishna has unlimited devotees. And also Krishna has created unlimited living entities. 3/4 of those living entities are in the spiritual world. 1/4 are in this material world. How many universes are there? Unlimited. How many desires living entity has? Unlimited. Some similarities between Krishna and the living entity. So coming to the point that the size is so small, so insignificant, so tiny, infinitesimal, but we think we are great. We want to control, right? The controlling propensity is there like God. Why? Because of the ego. We like to keep people under control. Even after coming to devotional life also, these devotees are under my control. They are my counselees. They are my mentees. They are my disciples. So they are I and mine. But we have to remember that nothing belongs to us. It's just a matter of time. Everything will be taken away, including your spiritual followers. But we think like that. They are under our care. Srila Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur never thought like that. When disciple came to offer obeisances, he used to say, Dasasmin, I am your servant. Everybody is a servant. Nobody is the master in the spiritual world. Even Lord also wants to be the servant of his devotees. And devotees want to be the servant of the Lord. That is a competition in the spiritual world. Who can be better servant? But here, the competition is who can be the better master. So that is the binding force. Why it is coming into our consciousness? Because of the false ego. And false ego is coming from where? Ignorance. So 3 levels of chanting was the topic of discussion yesterday. And we talked about namabhas. So today also some discussion should happen because a lot of questions came. Even after question answer period was over. So one devotee asked, then what is the motivation to do sadhana bhakti? Better, Ajamilo was better, no sadhana bhakti. So you have to understand there are two types of namabhas. Just to make us convinced. So namabhas for the sadhakas and namabhas who are not sadhakas. 2 kinds of namabhas. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains in Harinam Chinta. So Ajamil was getting the benefit of namabhas that was not real namabhas. But still he got that kind of benefit. It's an indirect aspect. He did not have any knowledge of the holy name. He did not have any understanding of the glories of the holy name. Nothing he knew. But somehow he chanted the holy name. And that was directed towards his son. But still he got the benefit of namabhas. But as a sadhaka, when he is not free from anarthas, but he is free from aparad, then he was also can be at the level of namabhas. There are 3 aspects: avidya, anartha, and aparad. So avidya is root cause we discussed yesterday. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains what is the meaning of avidya: not knowing about holy name, not knowing about our own constitutional position, not knowing about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not knowing material nature. So if you don't have knowledge of all these things, then we are in ignorance. This is known as avidya. And opposite to avidya is sambandha gyan. So when we take initiation from a bona fide spiritual master, we are supposed to get this knowledge, which is known as sambandha gyan. Diksha Guru gives sambandha gyan. And Shiksha Guru gives avidya. And result of both is prayojan, prema. Some people think by taking initiation we get perfection. Right? And some say there is no need of initiation. Only Shiksha is enough. So we have to have mature understanding. There are 3 aspects: sambandha, avidya, prayojan. So Diksha Guru, Chaitanya Charitamrita explains wonderfully in the first chapter of Adi Leela that Diksha Guru is representative of that sambandha gyan. Through the process of initiation, we get connected with the Guru Parampara and the Supreme Personality of God. That is known as sambandha. Sambandha means to know who am I, who is Lord, and what is material nature, and also interrelationships. Then we are in sambandha gyan. And what is the purpose of Sambandha Gyan? Jive Swarupaya Krishna Nityadas. We have understood. Then what is the next step? We have understood. But what is the next step? That is called Obideya. Engage in practical devotional service. And that is the role of Shiksha Guru, to engage his disciple in devotional service of the Supreme Personality of God. Train the disciple, give education and training. That is the role of Shiksha Guru. And that is a process. Diksha is one-time event. The role of Diksha Guru is over by giving that process. But there is another meaning of Diksha. One is external Diksha, that is ritual, and there is internal Diksha. What Prabhupada says in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, when Krishna was transferred from the heart of Vasudeva to the heart of Devaki. And Prabhupada said that is the real meaning of Diksha, initiation. When Krishna is transferred from the heart of the Guru to the heart of the disciple. That is the real meaning of Diksha. But we become enamored, we become satisfied that we are initiated because certain changes have taken place in our life. Especially, my name has changed. I got a new name. I got a new bead. I got new neck bead. And for temple devotees, hairstyle changes. For brahmacharis, color of the clothes changes. These are all wonderful, but that's not going to take us to the spiritual world. How we can be transported to the spiritual world? When our heart will change. And that will come from Shiksha. So Shiksha is very, very important, and Shiksha begins with hearing. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Saddha Kabunai Sravanadi Suddha Chitte Karha Uday. What is the meaning of Diksha also? Diksha Kale Bhakta Kare Atma Samarpan. That is the real meaning of Diksha. Diksha means surrender. That's why Guru Pranam Mantra Namo Om. Namo means no more me and mine in my life. If we are ready for that, then take initiation. Otherwise, it will be like external superficial initiation. Initiation means surrender. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekang saranang braja. Whatever Guru says, I am ready to follow. But I am ready to follow till initiation. After that, life is mine. Because I will not be available anyway. That's the Diksha standard. Seen nowadays, right? So I'll tell a story also. One devotee was, one sannyasi was traveling in a train. There was a person looks like a very good devotee. And he asked, sannyasi asked that, do you chant the holy name of the Lord? He said, I am initiated. He said, you study Bhagavatam? He said, I am initiated. He said, you worship the Lord at your home? I am initiated. So sannyasi, that we thought maybe he has some problem in understanding. He said, are you understanding my question? Yes, perfectly, Maharaj. Perfect question, perfect answer. But he said, I could not understand your answer. I am asking something else and you are answering something else. He said, no. You are asking whether I study, whether I worship, whether I chant. He said, if I have to do all these things, then why I have taken initiation? That will be done by my Guru. That's why I have taken initiation. And the disciples say, oh, Guru will take us. Some devotee, senior devotee was asking, I thought that Guru will take us home back to Godhead. That means I have taken initiation. Now, responsibility with the Guru. Very dangerous disciple. They are the burden of the Guru. So I said, this kind of disciple, definitely they will not go home back to Godhead. Even Guru has to come back again for this kind of disciple. So Guru is like a leading bird who will show us how to fly. But he will not fly for us. He is the driver of our devotional car. He will teach us how to drive, but he will not drive for us. He will train us. But we have to be trained. For that, we have to come to him. Right? So if you, Diksha is like admission in the college. admission in the college. If someone thinks, oh, I am admitted in the college, now I should get the degree. Some students think like that. And they don't go to the classes. And they are leading a very happy life. And they have a philosophy also. What's the philosophy? He said, entering into the college is my duty. And coming out of the college, taking out of the college is college authority's duty. So they don't study. If you don't study, then you'll not get the degree. In the same way, if we don't go through the process of shiksha, don't expect that something miracle will happen at the time of death and you will enter into the spiritual world. It's not going to happen. We have to go through the process of shiksha, devotional service, avidya, sambandha, avidya. Then we can get the prayojana, which is love of Godhead. So at the level of namabhas, at the level of namaparad, all three are there. Avidya, anartha, aparad. All three are there. But at the name of namabhas, aparad is not there. But still avidya and anarthas are there. And that's why they make a sad, just like a fog or mist, just block the view or block the darshan of the sun. We cannot see the sun. Sun is visible. Sun cannot, we should not think that a mist or fog covered the sun. No. It covered the individual person vision. In the same way, the avidya and anartha will block us to see Krishna. Will block us to chant the holy name purely. But when we become free from anartha and avidya, then we can come to the level of Suddhanam, which will reveal Krishna. So at the level of Suddhanam, Krishna will be revealed. Love of Godhead will be revealed in our heart. That is the power of Suddhanam. But at the level of Namabhas, although aparad is not there, but because of anartha and avidya, our heart is covered. So therefore, we cannot experience love of Godhead, which is experienced at the level of Suddhanam, which is explained wonderfully by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Harinam Chintamani. So time is up for today. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So tomorrow we'll discuss the concluding part. So if you have any question or comment for today's discussion, you are welcome for that.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thanks for your wonderful insights. So now, Maharaj, what will be the destination for an initiated devotee who is completely engrossed in Krishna conscious activities, and he's doing his sadhana most of the times, and also that at the time of death, that he's surrounded by devotees and everybody is chanting. So he's also in the same mode of going back to Godhead. So in that case, what will be his destination?
Destination depends on his level of Krishna consciousness. It's nothing external. We cannot judge anyone's destination by the external situations. Also, external situations are important, but more important than that is your internal consciousness. Who has developed love of Godhead, he can only enter into the spiritual world, nobody else. That is a Siddhanta.
Thanks, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to hear from you. Maharaj, in the case of Dhruv Maharaj carrying his mother back to Godhead, do we understand that she was already qualified and ready to go, and this way she just went, or she actually, by the mercy of Dhruv Maharaj, skipped all the stage of sadhana bhakti and came on that level instantly and went with him?
Okay. From Ajamil to Dhruva Maharaj. Okay, very good. So Dhruva Maharaj's mother was on the way back home, back to Godhead. And you are asking how? Because she developed that quality. of going back home, back to Godhead. How? How? That is not explained in detail. So I was hearing that that is the inspiration for preaching Krishna consciousness. How? We may not become Dhruva Maharaj, but by our preaching, one can become Dhruva Maharaj. Then we can go back home, back to Godhead. Same thing happened to Dhruva Maharaj's mother. Dhruva Maharaj had to stay back in Dhruva Loka, but she went back home, back to Godhead. So that is the result of preaching Krishna consciousness. Okay. Definitely, she was a very advanced devotee, and because of her Krishna consciousness, and definitely who had a son like Dhruva Maharaj, definitely she is not an ordinary mother. She was an extraordinary mother. And because of that, she got perfection and went back home, back to Godhead. Okay?
Yes, Maharaj.
But you wanted to hear something else? Okay. Mike.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, we also came to know that Srila Prabhupada's disciples' mother, when she left the body, that son saw her mother flying like an angel.
Okay.
Is it that I heard in one of the class? Is it that the son became a pure devotee and followed Prabhupada's instructions, and because of those effects, mother also got liberated?
I cannot speculate. I say what Shastra says. Shastra says who can go back home, back to Godhead? Who has developed love of Godhead. That is Siddhanta. And how we can get that? Normal process is sadhana bhakti. But sometimes Kripa Siddhi is also there, causeless mercy. So it's not that it cannot happen. Some miracle can happen at the time of death also. But that is exceptions. And that should not become the motivation to wait for that mercy. That's not the recommended process. Recommended process is follow Sadhu, Guru and Shastra, follow sadhana bhakti. That is the process.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Very good.
Harish Maharaj, yesterday you were mentioning that there are 4 types or 4 levels of namavas. And
For not 4. There are 4 varieties of this kind of indirect namavas. That
Sanketyam Parihasam refers to that verse, right?
Yeah.
Sanketyam Parihasam.
Yes. 4 varieties of namavas what Ajamil got. Without Shraddha. But there is namavas with Shraddha. The sadhaka can attain the level of namavas with Shraddha. Okay, 2 varieties. But first variety has 4 categories. One category is Ajamil, Sanket. Okay. Anything else? Today last question. Any question from? No question.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, also to develop the love of Godhead, how effective should be our non-enviousness?
Envy and love does not go together. When our envy will be 0, love will manifest. Envy and love cannot be together. Opposite of love is envy. Okay. Passion and compassion. 2 opposite things. It's okay? Not happy?
Maharaj, can you elaborate on taking shelter of Vaishnavas? Means what?
Taking shelter of Vaishnava is not sentimental. I have taken shelter. Taking shelter means follow whatever he says. That is the meaning of shelter. When you are ready to follow, then that is the symptom of surrender. Okay? Just like Arjuna said to Krishna, whatever you say, I will follow. That is called shelter. But Kali Yuga, difficult. Only words. I have taken shelter. But I do whatever I want to do. Shelter. We take shelter of the mind.
Thank you, Maharaj, for the enlightening sessions. Maharaj, you mentioned that we have to take association of those who are more advanced. And typically we see sometimes when someone is advanced, he's also given a lot of responsibilities. He's involved in management aspects. So when we see such advanced devotees, we interact or we come in touch, but generally the interaction is at the level of they need some help in a temple management or something, and we get involved in that and we help them in that way. So is that taking association, or association actually means a different aspect also, or this alone, or just the management interaction, is that enough for us to advance?
So what's your idea? What's your thought process? What is the meaning of association according to your understanding?
Maharaj, since
Just
you
checking,
asked, I'll
just
tell.
checking.
So my understanding is that it is not going to help much in my spiritual depth. I mean, I might make some progress, but I may not feel that satisfaction of progressing.
Association begins with Shraddha. Your quality of association depends on the quality of your Shraddha. If you don't have Shraddha for that person, whatever you do will not get the result of association. Because we have that inherent flaw that we don't have Shraddha. That's why Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. So unless and until we develop Shraddha, there is no question of good association. And that is a problem in Kali Yuga, because very difficult to have Shraddha in Kali Yuga. Right? We want perfection. We want to see to whom we'll associate with, they should be perfect. And Prabhupada said this is called phantasmagoria. We are living in utopian world, does not exist. Oh, GBC should be like that, Sannyasi should be like that. There is list according to his understanding, does not exist. So there is no association. To whom I should associate? I don't see anybody to associate with. Then better to associate with my mind. I can manage. Prabhupada books are there. So I can manage. So slowly, you'll be drifted away from whatever association is there. Also, you'll not get the benefit of that. In the name of perfection. That is the main problem. Whatever I observed and what Prabhupada said also. So you have to understand, Prabhupada said, whatever is available, we should best use of the bad bargain. That is called positive approach. Prabhupada started Krishna consciousness movement with some young boys, those who do not have any idea of Krishna consciousness, but those boys are only available to him. And that's why he's an acharya. He engaged all those things and engaged all those people and established this wonderful Krishna consciousness movement. So we have to see what is available also. Somebody say, oh, Dhruva Maharaj got Narad Muni. Why you are not getting Narad Muni? Are you Dhruva Maharaj? First come to the level of Dhruva Maharaj, then expect Narad Muni. Na? Expectations. That's why I give a very funny example. The boy always wants a wife. Should be like this list. 1, 2. They also have a checklist nowadays before marriage. Expectations, checklist. And they expect like this, she should be like Sita Devi. But he forgets that he is not Ram. He is Ravana. But expectation is high. And girl also thinks, oh, I should have a husband like Lord Ram. Checklist. But she forgets she is not Sita, she is Surpanakha. But expectations are very high. We always think what people will do, but we don't see what I am supposed to do. That is Kali Yuga symptom. That's one point, first point. Shraddha. Then association means, Prabhupada said, association, sadhu sangha means hearing. The most effective process of sadhu sangha is hearing. Krishna Katha. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem, Sadhya Kabunai, Shravanadi Suddha Chitta Kara Uday. Arjuna took association of Krishna by hearing. Rupa Goswami took inspiration and guidance and association from Mahaprabhu by hearing. We have to hear. Hearing is most important. So that is the principle. But whatever you are talking, that is called avidya. That is very, very important. Seva. Seva does not mean only hearing. Along with hearing, we should have practical devotional service also. Otherwise, what will happen? The hearing will make us lazy and we'll sleep in the hearing only. Because we don't have any realizations. Realization will come when we translate those hearing into our practical devotional life. That's why Prabhupada said morning, sadhana bhakti, after that, practical devotional service. We have to translate those hearing into our practical life. Both are important. So sometimes we think, oh, this is not so important. But at the beginning we think like that. This is all why I've joined. I have joined to study Bhagavatam. I joined to chant the holy name. Now I have to do this thing, that thing. My Guru Maharaj, he was a sannyasi, but he was building lotus building. Example. And whole day building. So he was little disturbed also. He wrote a letter to Prabhupada that as a sannyasi I should study Bhagavatam. I should preach Krishna consciousness. But whole day, cement, money, stone, steel. So these are the things a sannyasi is supposed to do. And he expected some compassionate answer. And he got a very heavy letter. Heavy letter. So what do you think? Reading my books and building my building is different. So quality of our service depends on Sambandha Gyan. And same thing happened to me also. Because of my background, I was given the charge of treasury. In order to avoid that, I joined ISKCON. But after joining ISKCON, I was given that service. Then I went to my Guru Maharaj and Guru Maharaj gave that same answer. That Guru Maharaj's answer was recorded in Prabhupada's letter. So he said, the quality of your service depends on your Sambandha Gyan. You have to understand whose treasury is this. This is Radha Madhav treasury. If you have that Sambandha Gyan, then doing puja and taking care of the treasury is at the same level. But if you don't have Sambandha Gyan, you are doing puja, you are thinking, why I am doing puja here? I should do puja in some other better place, right? So no Sambandha Gyan. Externals are not important. Internal connection is more important. At the same time, as a sadhaka, there should be a balance. So you should not imitate those examples and instructions. There should be a balance between hearing and practical devotional service. There should be a balance between sadhana and seva. If you do too much sadhana, then we will become lazy. And if you do too much seva, we become crazy. And Prabhupada never expected his devotees to become lazy or crazy. That's why we have to take a balanced path. As a sadhaka, we should have hearing. At the same time, we have to be engaged in practical devotional service. Then we have a steady progress in our Krishna consciousness. That is called association. Okay? Hare Krishna. So answer is a little long. I'm sorry for that.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
My answer triggered you to ask question or what? Okay.
So my question is that you mentioned in the Namabha stage, the aparadhas are not there. But generally we get to hear that the anarthas are first removed and the aparadhas are lingering, up till, bhava stage. So is this understanding correct?
No, it's not like that. One of the anartha is aparadh prabanata, tendency to commit offenses. There are three kinds of anarthas, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains. Root is avidya. Then there is called Sarup Brahm. Then Asat Trishna. Asat Trishna means thirst for something material. That includes sense enjoyment, that includes going to the higher planetary system, that includes mukti, that includes siddhi. All kinds of varieties are included in asat trishna. Then hriday dravalya. The heart becomes weak. Hriday dravalya. That is also explained by Bhaktivinoda Thakur nicely. Then aparad, tendency to commit offenses. These are three categories of anarthas explained by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Avidya will go away at the level of prema bhakti. Prema bhakti jaha hoite avidya vinash ho jata. Every day we sing. Unless and until we achieve the level of prema bhakti, avidya will not completely go. But there is a gradual progression. It doesn't mean anartha nibriti happens at the level of anartha nibriti, but anartha is still there till we achieve the level of prema bhakti. At the level of nishtha, anarthas are almost gone. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. But still subtle anarthas are there. At the level of bhava also, little subtle anarthas are there. But when we achieve the level of prema, then anarthas are completely eradicated. So there are different levels. Okay. So comments or questions? One question. Mike.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, after getting spiritual name from spiritual master, but still we call material name from people. So how can I understand this?
Same
Maharaj?
question was there no, somewhere? I answered. Same. He was not there yesterday. Okay. So one devotee came to Prabhupada and told Prabhupada, I forgot my initiated name. Is Sam Sundar or something like that? He was confused what name he got. It's all very new to them, no? He said, you remember the second part of the name? He said, yes, Das. That's more than enough. So that is the significance of getting new name. Other part is okay, looks very nice, but the important part is Das. So that has to be remembered. Some people outside they call, they said, can I speak to Mr. Das? Everybody is Das here. Who is Das you want to talk to? But Das is the most important aspect of the name. So what's his doubt?
Keep calling old name.
So tell them to remind them that I am initiated now. Please call me in my spiritual name. Because by that he is also helping him. Because if he calls out the spiritual name, he'll also get the benefit. And who got the name, he'll also feel happy that they remember my name. Okay.
Telling thank you for the gunshot answer, Maharaj.
I'm sorry for that, but what to do? Yes, yes. So we'll end here. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki. Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna devotees, that was Pranam. We will end today's Bhagavatam class with the Vaishnava Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhobhye vacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Kamitra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We'll meet again tomorrow morning. Namale. Hare Krishna.